We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers, because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs, you are.
Hey there, welcome to the Patriot Party News. So happy to have everyone here. Well, there's been a little change unless Mr. Torres can get his microphone working. He's having some little issues, but Chaz came in and kind of pointed him in the right direction, I hope. Bill is the best I could understand. He is a tree has fallen down. He's gone to get a chainsaw. Well, I'm not sure if he's just trying to get into his driveway or whatever. So we've got some little things going on. So we'll make the best of it. I think we can handle this and we'll be okay. Earlier on tap, I was talking about a lot of things that had just happened that really made me smile. And you might be seeing some things that are making you smile and you might not. But in my opinion, there are a whole lot of things to be smiling about. And that's something to take notice of. That's something that we've been looking for, all the deal with Venezuela, who is run by Cuba, who is run by China. We know all that. See, these people have been doing this for so long that, you say, how do you stop a machine like that? And you stop it with a lot of prayer, a lot of hard work, and good people in government, and or at least at the highest part of government, and then pray some more, and then hard work. And then knowing what work to do and what work is going to help us and bring us forward, because they planned on America failing. They planned on America being gone and us going to a one world government. That was what they had planned on. And these things that we're saying like this, that's not just, oh, that's what I think. These are things that are written down, have been written down for at least 150 years with Albert Pike, and then the New World Order. They've always had, the UN agenda, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and their mission goals that they have wanted to happen of the one world government, how to make that happen, how to have a cashless society, how to have one military instead of each country having their own military, so that they can control everything, absolutely everything that we do, everything that we eat, everything that we buy. It just doesn't matter. One of the biggest things they had in there that has hurt us bad, our friends, our family, our colleagues, these vaccines, that's a big part of their plan. I mean, a huge part, mandatory, multiple vaccines. That's why I'm so happy that RFK Jr. has come in and done what he's doing. He has come in and now he's talking about the food we eat. Now he's talking about, hey, maybe we shouldn't trust what those people were telling us to do in the government, because all of that came from places like the UN. It's amazing how far it got before anyone really said, oh, look what the heck's happening here. You know, there's a lot of people out there that just didn't know. A lot of people out there that knew but didn't have anybody around they thought they could tell. The ones that didn't know were on their way to being brainwashed. Brainwashed. The other ones were concerned everybody would think they're freaking crazy, would think that they're just freaking nuts. And by the way, without further ado, the one and only Mr. Oathkeeper Bill decided to. What's up with that tree, brother?
Oh, I tell you, man. Sorry about that.
It's all right. We're
half
gonna
hour
live
behind.
through everything.
Half hour behind schedule. We got
So
70
what
mile an hour.
happened? Was it on your driveway or something?
Actually, down my buddy's road.
Oh, okay.
I went to our Friday night, what we call class. the friends, we all say, "Here, we having class tonight."
Right.
You
wow,
know?
that's a trip. That's a trip.
Man, I'm sweating.
Well,
Sorry about that.
just do your thing, chill out a little bit, and we're all good. 5 to 7 years ago, before all this stuff started, we were saying a lot of really crazy things, and some people caught on to it and said, "Huh, these guys are a trip." Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what's going on? What were we doing? We were investigating the Law of War manual, trying to match up times and dates and what's going to happen, what can happen. We were watching our stock market. We were watching for pedophiles going down because we thought at some point pedophiles were going to be in major trouble. We were watching for major military presence all over the place. We had Mandy and some others in there looking at where the flights were. We were watching. What's that guy that watches the planes and the ships and everything? What's his? You remember his name? He came out all of a sudden.
I haven't seen him in a while.
He's out there still, but I can't remember his name. But he was a good one. We were always saying, "Hey, heads up! There's going to be flights." MonkeyWorks. Mandy said MonkeyWorks. That's who it was. So MonkeyWorks come on, and he started doing on here what Mandy was doing for us all over the place. It was pretty cool. And we were saying things like flights are going to be canceled. You're going to see volcanoes erupting. Politicians are going to be resigning. Gold is going to be up. Silver is going to be up. Hey, there's going to be a virus. And don't take the shot, please. Whatever you do, don't take the shot. We were telling everybody, look, mainstream media is going to be just lying to you. They're telling you freaking lies. We were talking about how we were going to be looking for all of these children that have been taken and really bad things happening. We were saying solar flares are going to come and freaking tsunamis and hey, Twitter is going to be taken over by Elon, and Facebook is going to be kicking everybody off of all your stuff. They're going to just, if you say something, only like 2 of your friends are going to see it for some reason. And Chaz knew more about that than I did. We were going to be talking about doctors were going to be involved in this, whether they knew it or not. Nurses, how they were going to be some point, they were going to be coming out of the woodworks and talking about, hey man, there's some bad stuff going on and I was involved and I'm sorry. And dang, Iraq was going to revalue. That has always been a big thing to us. We talked about WikiLeaks. We talked about Project Veritas. We talked about Epstein and Maxwell, how big of an ordeal that was going to be. And it was going to bring out what's politicians and entertainers. And we talked about Nasara Gassara, which we believe is probably not going to be said out in the open that much by anybody, any politicians. It's, just we're going to know what it is when something happens. It has to do with our sovereignty and things. There was going to be school shootings, and you could pretty much predict when school shootings would happen. When you see a politician get in trouble, or this happen over here that the black hats don't want to happen, instantly, 2 days, a day later, they're going to have a school shooting. We talked about Bitcoin. We talked about XRP. But at that time, Bitcoin, we thought, oh, it's going to go down. But luckily, this group has the ability and the maturity when new information comes that we can plainly see on TV by somebody like Trump or Eric talking about it, that, hey, I can be mature enough to say, whoops, I missed that one. Let's rock and roll. Let's go. I'm going to stick with all that. I'm just going to stay with all that we said 5 to 7 years ago. And now we are just adding to that. And please understand that presently there is some crazy stuff going on. So if people don't understand, that's what we want to help you with. And you're not by yourself. And yes, we're going to be okay, but it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be a bunch of waves hitting you in the head, but it's going to be a lot of waves and bumpiness that a lot of people don't understand. And that's why we talk about wakey all the time. So that's where we're at. Bill, what do you think about that? Do we just stick with what we've been saying and then add to it and feel pretty comfortable that we've...
That's it.
Okay, good. I like it. Well, what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a learning adventure as well as an awakening in our own sense. And I do believe the Lord has allowed certain folks to really waken up. Some of us many years ago, some of us 10 years ago, some of us 5, some of us just 2 weeks ago. Whenever that time frame came in your life, and traditionally those that listen to us are interested in it enough to either be the participant or, man, maybe these people have something out there, because they're not yelling at people, they're not talking poorly of people, they're not saying Democrats are this or Republicans are that. They're actually talking about America first. They're actually talking about sovereignty. They're actually talking about our children. They're actually talking about our health. It's not red team, blue team. But what we will decipher in is evil and good. And we're not on the evil team. We are on literally the most, and I feel, the most authentic team that we can be on. Not saying it's the best team in the world, but it's our truth, our authenticity. It's what we feel, that you've said so many times. If you don't feel comfortable telling your mom, your mother, your father what it is you have to share with us, then you won't share it with us. And vice versa, you know.
Yeah.
And we don't accept things from others if they would talk the way that they do in front of their mother in that tone of voice or that anger, then I don't want you in my home talking to my mom, right? So I'm just using it as a analogy. So throughout the years, we've noticed, wow, it's not about being right either. It's about the way that the road is being paved, and how folks are seeing the signs and coming off their own exits to enter. Similar to that movie, if you build it, they will come, you know. And you got the brother-in-law, I don't see what you see. I don't get it. The daughter falls, the doctor comes out, and then the brother-in-law is like, don't sell. You know, right. I finally see, you know. So obviously it's a little goofy, but it's in essence the same thing, because it's all the frequency. It's getting to that level of frequency to get that same radio station. So I'm very
Yeah,
excited about
yeah.
where we are. Do I like seeing what I see on all angles? No, I don't think I ever will. There's always going to be that. But I really feel the hard work is coming to fruition.
Amen. Amen. What are your thoughts? Okay. I don't know if you saw the 6 o'clock show, the On Tap show, but they're at the end and during my wakey time, um, I was talking about all the things that I'm seeing right now that are like, wow, I'm happy about this. I'm happy about this. Did you see it, or were you cutting trees?
I was in the woods. I apologize.
That was no
I didn't even
problem. I'm sorry you had to do all that, but I've been
sorry,
there.
brother. I love making your show.
Oh, hey, it's good. So one of the big things was about, hey, Trump has decided that Mexico, you better straighten your act up, or we're coming to say hello with maybe some little bombs, uh, making the cartel a little uncomfortable. I talked about how he's going to go to the WEF, what's it called, the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland there. And I just want to know what he has to say. That's to me a neat thing. I get to watch him. Hey, that speech he had today, or his roundtable type scenario he had today, where he had all the oil and gas people and stuff, I was like, whoa, he's got the heavy hitters of the world going in to work for him in Venezuela and the Venezuelan people. So they're going to be free from Cuba and China, and they're even going to buy they're going to buy everything from America. So I don't know if you were able to see that. You might have been still cutting wood, but we were talking about that in talk time. In fact, these people that talk time, they were going off today. It was great.
Been trying to catch up with a lot of friends, getting their wood in for them. It got up to 40 degrees today, so we were able to broke apart a bunch of logs, if you will, to help some folks. And that,
cool.
One thing leads into another.
I want to do that. Well, I tell you what, also something we talked about was the Iranian regime and how big a trouble they're in because of their runaway inflation, because of water shortages, and they're having rationing happen in not just bad cities, but major cities. Rampant corruption throughout, where they're just catching everything bad, and their allies are saying adios. They've always had that Islam force, and that's declining. So many good things are happening right here in front of our face. I'm very, very excited about it. Secretary Noem, he just sent a message to Gavin Newsom saying, hey, dude, we're coming to see you, fool.
It's wonderful. And the other day, Tom Homan said, you Democrats, if you feel the way you do, that's okay. Just go get some counseling, And he also said, we're going to send thousands more ICE agents thanks to the big, beautiful bill. He also, well, not he, but in Iran, we are seeing Nasara and Jassara. We're seeing it. The immigration attributes alone. Go to your own country. Go to your own country. Obviously, a cleanup needs to occur, and that's coming out. We have wonderful sheriffs that have come forward disregarding what the negative rhetoric in respect to the decision that young federal agent had to make in killing that young lady.
Right.
Nobody wants to make that choice. I don't care who you are. But let me rephrase that. Anybody with a good mind and a rightful soul would never say such a thing or do such an act and think it's okay. No real true soldier or police officer or any person even protecting their own home does not want to make that decision. And those that verbalize they do, it's evil. It's not okay. That rhetoric needs to stop. But what I was just trying to identify something, and I think I went off kilter. But the main thing with the Jasara and the Sara things coming together with Tom Holman identifying Big Beautiful Bill, that's to me Nasara. A lot of information in there with that. And we are seeing good sheriffs identifying the good in respect to what that young man had to make the choice to do. We're also hearing from our vice president that young man made the choice that he needed to make. The vice president even went further, went above and beyond having to identify, or not having to, but he identified that same young man 30 to 40 days prior was literally struck by a vehicle and had 32 stitches. And so that same young man in another situation, there's PTSD, there's aggression, there's that'll never happen to me again. And it's not a matter of a personal choice of making that choice of I'm not going to have it happen to me again. He's on guard and prepared. He's that much more ready. So when he got struck by that vehicle, his muscle to memory is boom, is to shoot. There is no time to, well, maybe she really didn't mean to accelerate the way she did after being told to stop and get out of the vehicle. No. So the young man did excellent. And I want to say thank you to all of the federal agents and other soldiers and whatever. But what are we hearing? We hear from some sheriffs, some mayors, governors, district attorneys, the complete opposite. You have to look at it and say, why? Why is that sheriff totally being disrespectful when hundreds of other sheriffs identified he or she, there was a mask on that federal officer? Why hundreds of sheriffs saying that it was a good move? Why is that sheriff being negative? Why is the mayor saying, get the F out of here, ICE? You're a mayor. Go take care of trash. Debbie's cat got out again, mayor. You know, and then a district attorney saying, we will arrest you, National Guard. We will arrest you, ICE agent. That is a narrative that's being created right now. An insurrection. It is an insurrection. And with the Insurrection Act of 1807, our Commander-in-Chief has all the rights in the world to act upon that with our active duty military. So I think we're in good shape. Just don't like seeing or hearing what we're seeing and hearing.
But we know what's going to happen.
We know what's going to happen.
We know what's going to happen. That's half the battle as far as mentally knowing what's going on, understanding that these things are going to happen, be prepared for them. Okay. Understand, and watch those. It's kind of like another thing I like about everything you were talking about, Chicago. Hey, I think we got Edward coming in. I'll finish this real quick. Chicago PD Superintendent Larry Snelling said, let me make this clear. Agents, ICE, HSI are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed. It's reasonable. It's reasonable for them to use force in those conditions. Hey, I love that. I love that. So I'm gonna bring in Edward real quick, and first off, we're gonna see if his microphone's working and make sure that's all good. Hey, Edward, how are you? Can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes, sir. Hey,
Oh,
Edward,
great,
nice to
great.
see you. Our talk time buddy,
Thanks.
who Bill, tell us a little bit about Edward. He's been in the military just like you have, and
Yes. Senior Master Sergeant Edward Torres is a dear friend of ours, not just friendship wise, but what he has brought to the table. And within his military time, as a security policeman within the United States Air Force, he has really traveled many places and has really helped, especially the young people. He has really helped the young people learn, and he has also assisted the older folks to also. So he's dabbled in so much, and he's really helped us to learn a lot. And in my low ranking ass, you know, he outranks me, so I just look to him so many times with so many questions that I have. So thank you, Eddie, for coming on, Sergeant Torres. I appreciate it.
Edward,
Got
you
it.
can finish that up with a little bit about you if you don't mind. We'd love to hear what you've got to, what military and all that good stuff.
Well, I have about 34 years of military service, 10 active duty, 24 reserve. Uh, I deployed just about, with the exception to the Middle East, well, not the Middle East, to Korea and that part of the Asia, let's put it that way. I have never been, but everywhere else, trust me, I've been there. Um, I also, since I was in the reserves, I was also a U.S. Customs officer. I retired from the military in 2008, and I retired from Customs in 2017. And with Customs, I was 20 some odd, 25 years. So
Amen. Amen. Well, thank
it
you for your
was,
service, and thank you for being a sound mind in talk time on a regular basis. I think I love it when we're in there talking and you come in and everybody wants to hear what you've got to say. That's a neat feeling for me, especially because I'm proud of it, and I want people to get that knowledge. Speaking of knowledge, uh, how do you feel about? We've talked to you many times about the border. We've talked about how are things working there. What's up with the cartel? Now we've all of a sudden got this deal with Venezuela going on. Is there anything special that we ought to be looking for, or that we should know, or do you see a pretty sound plan going on? Or what's your thoughts there?
well, about the plan that the administration of the military might have. The only thing I could do is just speculate in what
Yes, sir.
they might be doing. Because, you know, DJT says I'm not going to tell my plans before I do them. So there's no way of knowing. You could speculate on what they're doing. I think by just taking down Venezuela was a major, 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 uh, the beginning of the domino effect, let's put it that way. That the now, if you look at the news, you look here, you look there, and mainly not the main news, but the the uh, the truthers and the podcasters that are from Central and South America, from Cuba, they're all, they're saying that all these administrations are scared, are panicking because they're scared that they're the next one to fall. You know, Cuba, after they took down Maduro, Next thing you know, they're putting all their anti-aircraft radar and stuff from out. You know, they're cleaning it out and getting the mothballs and the moths all over it, you know, and all that stuff and putting it up. You know, it's not going to work. It didn't work in Venezuela. You think it's going to work in Cuba. So that's putting all the pressure. Right now, Cuba is looking at, they're really, really hurting because they don't have no more oil. No more oil for the country, no more oil to sell out in the black market. So they're hurting. They know that. And people are starting to mention it. But the mention of that stuff is coming out from Miami and the Cubans that are out of country. Because if they were the Cubans from in country, are not going to risk going to jail for saying something. That's how they control them. You know, you say something, you're a dissident, boom, you go to jail for whenever, you know. So that's what that's happening. Mexico right now, um, you know, you could tell Colombia is already doing the same thing. Petro is saying the same thing that Maduro said. Come and get me. Okay, those same words. So there's
Yeah.
something there because they're using the same narrative. Come get me, coward. You know. So there's something there that's already been arranged or something. So that's one. The next one up is you're talking about Nicaragua. Supposedly, that's Noriega. Noriega was involved back in the Iran Contra deal. He was the president. He was the one. He was part of. He was the leader of the Contra that took over Nicaragua. So he's back in power. Okay, we're looking at during Reagan times. Okay, so he's 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 gone subterranean because I haven't heard anything, and I've tried to find something about it, about him, nothing, you know. So supposedly Honduras is dealing, talking to the State Department. That's the only thing that I've heard and that I've been able to find. Now we come to Mexico. That's the big problem because DJT has already said, Sheinbaum, if you don't do something about these cartels, we're going in and take them out. We all heard that.
Yes, sir.
Now, so is that the plan? Are we going to put troops on the ground in Mexico and do a type of invasion? Or we're going to just send the drones and take them out? I think it's the latter and not putting troops on the ground. You know, because you can't trust the the government. You can't trust it because we know of that mayor that got shot right in the middle of the Halloween party, got shot in front of everybody when he asked for help. So that's one. And there's like before Sheinbaum came into power, there was something like 38 assassination of political people, of politicians, trying to move up into the change. She's been called out, God knows, like 50,000 times. Every time that there's a meeting of the Congress, the Mexican Congress, they call her out big time. And it's shameful, you know, and all the speeches that she gives, you know, you have to ask yourself, are you using cocaine? Because it's doesn't make any sense. Are you high?
What's wonderful, Eddie, is I'm starting to see correlations like in Iran with the way the upbringing or the stepping up of the local patriots, if you will, and Christianity is really stepping up in Iran right now, also
Yes.
with the
Yes.
assistance of getting rid of the top leaders, and we get Maduro out of there. and you see the Venezuelans stepping up. Thank you, America. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, America. And I feel we're going to start seeing more of a patriotic, organic step up in these countries as the top echelons disappear. Number two, the Western Hemisphere with the Monroe Doctrine that's been talked about. President Trump even called it the Dawn Doctrine, out of being silly. But that Monroe Doctrine, we're going old school. We're going back to the Constitution. We're going back to our forefathers in respect to, we don't want any outside other hemisphere entering our hemisphere to where it could pose a problem in the future. So there's that.
The whole deal with the Monroe is like it's called like it's isolating us from the rest of the world, and that's when World War II, we were under the Monroe Doctrine before we entered into the Second World War. We didn't have no other choice. We were forced to do that because we were helping England and Europe and all that, and we were forced. But the doing it now is very important, because one thing that happened, and most people haven't heard about this probably, is that there's an island off Venezuela. It's called Isla Margarita, and there was that island right there was a training camp for Hezbollah, Cubans, Hamas, Iranian, RGI, whatever all those. And there they were doing training, that also training the Venezuelan forces. That was the training that they were doing there. But also in that island, they were conducting. They were providing their operatives with passports, good paper, good documents, so they could travel anywhere around the world and not be stopped because they're legit paperwork. So that was a big one right there. And then a little bit of information that I saw today is that there's two things. One, that from Venezuela, the Swiss have confiscated. I heard first 13 tons of gold, but it turns out to be 113 tons of gold. Also, Venezuela turns out to be the fourth largest holder of Bitcoin, with an amount of 600,000 Bitcoins. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but that's out there right now.
A lot of stuff going on with silver. It looks like that. Well, he's fixing to go to Davos there in Switzerland, but Switzerland has cut some stuff off, from what I'm understanding, because who was it the other day that just, maybe it was JP Morgan, that just sold all of this silver, and we were like, oh, hey, what's going to happen there? Because they're fighting for that to, they've been suppressing that forever, and then all of a sudden, supposedly
they're selling the shorts. The paper.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. So what do you think
It's
about
amazing.
Iran? Iran's in a messed up situation. They're a wreck.
The last before I had the little, I tried getting on the program with my phone. I went in circles, and I just like, hell, I'll try something else. I tried everything, but
Well, you got it.
I was found that the Tehran, the protests, the government says they lost control of the city of Tehran. Another Abu Dhabi, or something like that. They also lost control. That was the first city that they lost control. They took down the symbol of the Khomeini.
Oh, really?
Khomeini was. I saw a video that Khomeini was hightailing it out of country, loading up on a executive jet, moving out, going to Russia, because those were the plans. So there's a lot of things happening, and you can't say um, that nothing is happening. Internationally, there is, but
Yeah.
also national within our borders, if things are going down. Besides of what you've seen of the riots in Minnesota, Portland, New York, you know, um, I read that the DMC finance the CFO for the DMC in Virginia got arrested this morning for kiddie porn.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes. Wow. They're
So
taking
not
them
you
out one
can't
way or
say,
another, aren't
yeah, you can't say that nothing is happening here in the United States. You just, it just they're trying to suppress the information, misinformation, or not tell us exactly what's going. So, you know, if Mar-a-Lago is listening, hey, take that, take that, kill that Obama thing that he said that they
they?
have to
Right.
tell the truth, not disinformation or whatever. Tell them to kill that with EO, and we will fix the problem right there. You'll have no other choice, because if that comes out, uh,
Mainstream
that
media is
means
dead.
that exactly they don't tell the truth or be fair in their broadcast. What's going to happen? Hey, you violating an EO? Boom, cha-ching, turf war.
And you were mentioning EO, but some things we didn't even mention with Maduro is the amount of election fraud. We didn't
Yeah,
even talk about election fraud. We only identified what actions we're seeing right now, right? The election fraud, I believe, is the Trump card. I believe that is going to be the actual uh, ticket to make the big steps in the big arrests worldwide, due to the 72 countries, us included in that 72, that due to the Dominion and the Smartmatic and everything, how it affected world leaders, world situations, our nation in particular, how these decisions from electing sheriffs to senators and electing congresspeople and presidents and throughout the last well, at least let's go 20 years, let's just say 20 years or whatever. We haven't even communicated about that yet. And that, to me, is like the cream on top of the pie, or the cherry on top of the pie. But I do believe
there,
that's going to be
there,
soon.
there's a lot of people that in the situation that we are in the cities, for example, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Portland, maybe New York. The question is, the people that are neglecting to do their duties, uh, where are the sheriffs? I know the PD is run by the city, but where are the sheriffs that are run by the county? Where are they? We hear this, that the sheriff is the ultimate power in the county. Where are they? That's the question
And
that needs to be asked.
and I do hear what you're saying. As a matter of fact, we had our sheriff meeting, our 30, no pun intended here. It happened to be our 32nd meeting, our 32nd monthly meeting. And a lot of the sheriffs aren't purposely on the fence. They're waiting for the upper levels and they're also watching the like the sheriff that did come out in Philadelphia, the young black lady who was a sheriff,
Oh yeah.
really against, so we heard that. We did hear other sheriffs coming on board, identifying how proper that decision was made in respect to the young federal officer that had to make that choice. And you know better than I, nobody wants to make that choice. That young man did not want to do it. A lot of it's muscle memory in respect to the position he's in, uh, more so than having the time to really think about the situation. It's muscle memory. Stop the vehicle, ma'am, get out. Vehicle coming towards you, muscle memory. There's no time
Yeah,
to
it is.
think. That's just the way it is. When I was in the military, that's what we're told. Vehicle coming at you after you hear a verbal of stop, that vehicle's now a weapon. Irregardless if it just barely skims you or not, it's coming in your direction after you heard a verbal stop. Anyway, I don't mean to get too far into it, but those are things that I was trained in years and years and years ago. But my point with the sheriffs, my sheriff is prepared to make a statement in respect to, hey, this was wrong, and there's other sheriffs in the the CSPOA that are working together also to prepare statements and also get ready for what's coming.
To answer Robbie's question, Cuba is going to fall by itself.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be any intervention because they've been cut off of everything. Mexico would be the next one. That's
I
where,
think Iran will be kind of like Cuba.
yeah. And to go on what you're saying, there was also the superintendent of the city of Chicago came out and told them, he made the same statement as that sheriff, the lady from I don't remember the city, but I see her
Chicago.
talking about
Chicago.
saying that, is a thing. But it's what a lot, oh, to bring it up on the shooting of Minneapolis, the wife of Renee got arrested because she was torturing the kids by putting out cigarettes on their bodies.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that.
That came out.
Yeah,
And
Renee's
also they
killed
showed
her.
the video saying baby drive baby or drive baby drive, something like that. That was found on the video recording. So she's also being charged with that because she was inciting and the Renee to do that. But let me go back and put on my hat as a police officer.
Yes, sir.
When an officer is at home in their house at times, sometimes they might go green, very hard because you're always looking. Majority of the time you're in that yellow, low yellow to green at the bottom because you need to give your body a chance, your mind a chance to break down, to calm down. But when you start going to work, I know I did it. On my way to work, I'm thinking of different scenarios and how I am going to react to them if it happens. Okay. Guy comes out with a knife, guy comes out with a gun. What we're going to do? Comes out with a machete, with a baseball bat, with a 2x4. It doesn't matter. What What am I? If it's my situation, what am I going to do to get me prepared for the day? So that brings you from green to a little bit of amber, up to moving you up to amber, to the high part of amber, and that's where you stay the whole day until you get back home. If something happens at work, then you go into red. But you can't stay in red the whole time. 8 hours. Like for example, us. We used to work anywhere from 8 to 16 hour days. So you can't stay up there the whole time because you're going to burn out. Trust me.
Yes.
I got burned out because of that, but I learned. Okay. So you spend too many days or too many hours at red, you're in danger. I know a lot of police officers, PD, local PD, sheriff. who worked, who were members of the unit with me, and we'll sit down and talk, and you could see where they're at and try to bring them down. Calm down, bro. You know, you're not in any danger. Nothing is going to happen here. There's no criminals in the unit. Okay, so those are the things that they're just like going to combat. You become a junkie to the adrenaline, but you're in that stage for too long, you get burned out. So you have to learn to do that. And these guys in ICE, they're going city to city, state to state, are in red. And that's dangerous for them because it it's going to burn them up, physically.
Wow. We need to take care and pray for those guys, Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, God bless you guys.
Learn how
It's so good to see you. Learn how to share. Eddie, it's so good to see you. I'm going to jump out, let you fellas finish,
All right.
and you have a good night.
You got it.
Good
And,
to see you. Go cut them trees down, brother.
Oh, I'm done
Yeah.
for tonight. I'm gonna go on talk time in a little bit here.
Me too. All right. Appreciate you, Bill. Bye.
All right, Will. See you later.
I'll tell you what, Edward, we're coming to the end. It has been a
Cool.
pleasure to have you on here, but I'd love it for you to
I
finish what you were
appreciate the
saying,
opportunity.
or we got 5 minutes. I'd love for you just to take it and rock and roll. If you got anything else you'd like for us to, you think we ought to know?
The only thing that I could tell anybody based on the situation that's going on around the state, around your area, is just be aware of your surroundings at all times. You have that gut feeling that everybody has. Some people have that feeling sharper than others, but listen to it. If you feel that something is not right, go the other way. And be aware of your surroundings and the things that are going on. Because if you don't, you're going to become a victim.
And it's not silly
That's-
to think about fortifying your home or talking to a neighbor that you think might be like-minded. It is not silly. Do you want things in your yard for people to hide behind, or do you want your yard clean and clear and things like that? Do you keep certain lights on? What are you going to do if some craziness hits the fan? Think about it. It's not silly to be out in your yard just thinking about your home and the security of your home and having your water and food and protection and first aid in a few different places. Even where would you keep a hideaway, something to protect you with? If somebody is storming your door, where's protection going to be? Where are you going to be when that starts happening? These are things I'd love for me and you to go over and talk time, maybe on here sometime. I think we really
Well, another
need
thing, if you're talking about protection, it would be wise, like your ammo be divided in different parts of the house because that's where you're going to be moving to,
Okay. Yes,
you
sir.
know. So that would be a wise thing to do. The same thing with the water. If you think, but these are what ifs. It's just ideas of what to do at any given time. For example, here the poop hits the fan. I'm letting my dogs out. They're my alarm. I got, they're going to tell me what's going on, and I'm going to the roof because I have a flat roof, and from there I see miles around. So
It's
that
not silly to be thinking about that, people. It's not silly
no,
to
it's
just
not.
go outside and think about that
Yeah,
and have stuff
yeah,
strategically taking in mind if you have children, what age they are, where things are hidden, where is a room that you can get to that you might not notice. Um, uh, you know, all those things that are, it's not silly at this point right now to think about that and let people see you thinking about it. You are not crazy. This is this is the start of the final, but the conclusion's a long ways away. When we,
yeah. And we don't know when it's going to hit the fan. One piece of advice,
yes, sir.
you know, Always, 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 3 times. Always, 4. Keep a knife in your pockets.
Yes, sir.
Always keep a knife.
Yeah,
Exactly.
can't do without it. And
Always.
one that will not break. Get you a good one.
Hmm. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
get you a good one. Edward, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you in Talk
Same
Time.
here.
By the way, we get to listen to this man all the time in Talk Time. So sorry if you don't. You ought to come hang out with us. Edward, have a great evening. Hope you come in and hang out with us a little bit.
Thanks.
We're
Really
proud
appreciate
of
it.
you and want to see you back. Thank you so much.
All right. See you guys later.
All right, bye. Thanks for joining. For me, that was a big treat. I know for a lot of people in Talk Time, that's a big treat because there are a bunch of people in Talk Time and on the PPN, all of PPN, that we share information. You might be good at sewing. You might be a nurse. You might be like Edward, everything, as far as the military goes. There are so many people that have so much to offer, and you are valuable. You're valuable. You have a lot to offer, and helping someone with a problem, whether it's a sickness or feeling better about their home being secure or feeling better about how they're talking to their aunt who doesn't believe anything we say. This is how we guide each other, how we help each other, how we offer suggestions, and then you use your discernment. When I was young, if there was something going on with the kids, there's maybe 3 men that I could ask. Of course, my father's number one, Uncle Billy, Uncle Buford, and say, hey, this happened and this happened and this happened. What's your thoughts? Do I just go crazy or am I real mad? Well, one of them would have one thought, one of them have another thought, one of them have another. I took everything they had to say and I rolled into one and did the best I could. And then if I found out I made a mistake, I said, hey, I'm sorry. This first time I've been a daddy to a 14-year-old. Give me a break. I'll give you a break. I apologize for anything I said. You apologize for anything you did. And let's go on. Let's live. Let's go love on Mimi. My mama's Mimi. Let's go. We're a family. Let's rock and roll. Come join us at join.patriotshoot.com. We would love to have you. Chaz has built it out, and there's new things going on all the time. Thank you for joining. Hang out with us as much as you can. Appreciate the support. Mods, you rock and roll. Love y'all. Stay out of trouble. Have a great weekend. And might be a pretty eventful weekend. I think there might be some great coming for us. Have a good evening. Okay.